What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now, with this video, we are jumping into the death of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man issue number 1. Now, this will be a one-shot, and if you have not been keeping up with the death of Doctor Strange, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this line. Now, most of us up to this point, we know what's going on. Doctor Strange is dead. The barrier that protects this world from interdimensional beings, it has gone down, and we are seeing the attack commence all around the world. Now, this isn't your typical Spidey story, because this is not Peter Parker. This is Ben Reilly. This is the clone of Peter Parker, with Peter currently in a coma, with the world descending into chaos. This city needs Spider-Man. And so with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this one-shot Spider-Man, we are picking up with Felicia Hardy, currently sitting at the bedside of Peter Parker. And as she sits by his bedside, contemplating everything it means to be a hero, to be Spider-Man, thinking that he has always lived on borrowed time. It was only a matter of time before something like this happened to him. And for all the good he has done, what does he get at the end of the day? Nothing more than a hospital bed, one that he cannot afford, and one that he may even die in. But while they're having this conversation, this is where we see the arrival of Ben, him coming through the window and asking how Peter is doing. Now at this point, Felicia really believes that Ben is just in this so he can be Spider-Man, that he doesn't necessarily care about Peter in the least, that he just wants to wear that suit, he wants to hold that mantle of Spider-Man, and he will do that no matter the cost. Felicia seeing him nothing more than a thief. And though it may be very rich coming from her, when she steals something, she doesn't try dressing up. And that's exactly what she feels like Ben is doing here. And as these two get into a very heated discussion, this is where we see an astral projection of Doctor Strange, calling out to Spider-Man and apologizing for the intrusion, but letting him know that if he is seeing this message, then Doctor Strange has died. This is one of a number of spells that he is prepared to activate in the event of his demise. And he did this because he has a task for Spider-Man. The days laying ahead are going to be very difficult for the entire Earth. And so he asked for him to come to the Sanctum. Now, of course, Black Cat, she heard all of this, and she is not going to let Spider-Man go on his own. More than anything, she really wants to know if Doctor Strange is actually dead. Saving him not that long ago, she kind of feels bad about the situation knowing that he died just so recently from him being saved. And so as the two of them swing through the city, they make their way to the Sanctum. Going inside, they are greeted by Wong, with him filling them in on everything that has transpired, not giving them the full detail because honestly, there's too much for them to just digest, saying that Doctor Strange had left them a list of instructions that he would like them to accomplish in his absence. Now, Wong quickly recognizes that this is not Peter Parker, but because Peter is indisposed, he is going to have to do, letting Peter know that Doctor Strange had bound a number of potential threats with oaths and hexes. He maintained these with his life force. And with that life force dying, that means all of these hexes, all of these spells, all of these oaths are now being lifted, and we are seeing all kinds of different beings making their arrival. And inside the file, they have a whole laundry list of things to do, with Black Cat not gonna leave his side, going to make sure that all of this stuff gets accomplished. They head off into the night. They head off to go do their first task. And that first task is ensuring that the Gator Shaman has not discarded their treaty in the absence of Doctor Strange. And as they get there, that is exactly what they find. 3 giant albino alligators attacking him. The Gator Shaman is commanding them, and we have Black Cat, we have Spider-Man doing everything they can to take these guys down. And as this fight rages on, we see Spider-Man, he wraps up these gators, with Black Cat having the shaman in her hands. As Spider-Man continues to read through the pamphlets, he learns that the gator shaman is just a lunatic. But he reads a message from Doctor Strange, a very convincing and compelling argument for the gator shaman and his gators to stay down in the sewers. And this argument is that those gators are such a rare thing in this world. Those specific, mystical, magical gators, they are so unique that if you were to bring them into the world, more than likely they would be hunted to extinction. There would be no stopping the violent wave that came forth. And so if you are to retreat back into the sewers, you will protect your gators. You will keep them safe and hidden away from the world so that no one is the wiser, and this mystery can stay exactly that. With Spider-Man giving this convincing speech that Doctor Strange had wrote, the Gator Shaman, he instructs his gators to head back down into the sewers, where it is safe and secure for them to rest out their days. Now, their next mission is going to take them to someone who will eat the heart of children. Not wasting any time, the two of them, they haul butt across town. And they are supposed to be stopping the hungry Prince of Hearts. Knowing Doctor Strange will be gone, he will be out on the hunt. But as these two get across town, they find that the prince has already been taken care of by the one and only Moon Knight. Completely covered in blood, Moon Knight has already dispatched of our prince. With this guy hunting in his neighborhood, that was something that Moon Knight simply could not allow. Now, Moon Knight has heard the news of Doctor Strange, doesn't really think much of it. Says, you know, I used to owe him an apology, I guess that's not gonna happen now. I've actually died a couple times myself, don't really recommend it, but good luck with your list. And Moon Knight heads off into the darkness. But these two, they get back at it. They start checking off numbers on this list, addressing tax in Chinatown, exercising the 666 train, feed the Central Park dragon, taking care of mummies, and appeasing the spirits of the forgotten dead beneath James J. Walker Park. So their night has been eventful. Their night has been action-packed, taking care of random things popping up all over the city. Now, in the midst of all of this craziness, they're able to take a break. They stop for a minute and they really reminisce about what is going on. Because the fact of the matter is Doctor Strange is truly dead. And this is hard on everybody. Because one of the scariest things out there is a world without Doctor Strange. And they honestly had no clue how much he was truly responsible for. Ghosts, demons, dragons, mummies, it was all him. He kept all of this in check. And not a single person had known about it. Nobody knows what he did for this city. And that's because that was his job. He was the village doctor. He goes around day to day helping individuals with everyday tasks, making sure that everyone is okay, but no one really pays attention to him. Everyone seems to forget about the doctor, and that is because they are healthy. And why would healthy people waste their time at the doctor? Why would they go and see him? Why would they take the time when they are feeling healthy, taking for granted everything that Doctor Strange had ever done for them, not realizing until after he is gone all of the great deeds, all of the ways that he protected them. And now without them, they have a sickness that is called chaos. And so they continue through the night and they start taking care of some goblins, making some trouble, making some ruckus. Black Cat and Spider-Man make quick work of these guys. Now Ben, he is not too fond on having to deal with so many goblins. Black Cat telling him that if he truly does want to be Spider-Man, if he wants to have that mantle, he's gonna have to get used to freaking goblins. And so with the two of them being able to take down this rambunctious bunch, with the two of them stopping them from running over a guy in the middle of the road, there is one last task for them to do. Doctor Strange, every single night, he would take a hot pretzel to Miss Garcia, an elderly woman who worked as a janitor very late at night. Working this shift every single night, Doctor Strange would meet her outside with a hot pretzel and walk her to the bus stop. Giving her conversation, the two of them would chat themselves away until her bus would arrive. And that's exactly what the two of them do. Bringing a hot pretzel to this nice old lady, they give it to her and tell her that Doctor Strange is just fine, that he's just busy this day, that they were sent in his stead. And so they sit here and they reminisce. She talks about how wonderful Mr. Strange is, how he was always full of life and cheer and happiness. He always ensured that she was safe, always there to give a warm and loving smile. Now that's what picks us up a little bit later. The two of them sitting on that bench and they're having a conversation because earlier Felicia had said a world without Doctor Strange, how scary and terrifying that would be. And this makes Ben realize a world without Spider-Man can be just as terrifying. That the people of this city, more than ever, they need Spider-Man. They need that person to look up to. They need to know that somebody is out there having their back. And so while he may not be Peter Parker, he is going to be Spider-Man, at least until Peter Parker is able to take up the mantle himself again. And Felicia, very, very unwantingly, tells him, fine, you are going to be Spider-Man. You will be Spider-Man at least for now. Felicia letting him know that he better be ready because there is work to do. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, this had absolutely nothing to do with moving the plot forward in our main story of the death of Doctor Strange. But what it really is showing us is just the side stuff going on. How our heroes are truly stepping up in the wake of the death. And seeing Spider-Man, seeing, even if it's not actually Peter Parker, seeing Ben, seeing Felicia work together is always a great treat to see these two working so well together. But the most I liked about this issue is how it really highlighted how much Doctor Strange does for this country, let alone this planet. He was taking down demons, he was stopping all of these forces as the Sorcerer Supreme for all of this time. Everybody completely unaware, taking advantage of all of this. And it wasn't until his death that people started to recognize how much they needed him. And I will be covering the death of Doctor Strange White Fox, so be sure to check that out a little bit later today. And let me know what you guys think about this comic. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.